So then it's not like you have to think I'm abundant. You feel like you are, and if you feel like you are, when you say I am abundant, you're affirming your state. You're saying it because it's the truth. You're not saying it to get there.
Hello and welcome to the Pacific Channel, where you learn about the law of attraction, how to manifest anything you want, meditation, and more. In this video, Dr. Joe Dispenza talks mainly about heart coherence and more about the details of what it is, how you feel when you are in heart coherence, how and why you can manifest what you want when you are in it, what happens when you get better and better at it, and then the typical experience of those who can master it. He also talks about how to catch yourself going unconscious during the day and how to get back on track. The manifestation game is really about raising your level of vibrational frequency to the level of the things that you want. It's understanding that we were taught the creative process backward. Most of us think or believe that we can't be happy until we have X, Y, or Z. We live conditional lives of waiting for external things outside of us to change so we can change and be happy. But the way that it works is that we must feel the feeling of what we want first. We are creators. We were never taught this. We were never taught how to easily manifest whatever we want because most others don't know how to do it either. Or they will tell you how hard you have to work to get what you want. But when you leverage the power of the universe, it's a lot easier to manifest what you want. The other issue is that so many of us struggle with feelings of worthiness. And if we don't feel worthy, then we are never going to emit the same frequency as what we want does. The experiment then, as Dr. Joe says, is to get good at staying conscious throughout our day, staying in the vibration of the future instead of the past. So the experiment is to manifest the same feelings that we feel during meditation in our daily lives. This is why he has people do walking meditation where your eyes are open and you're doing your best to maintain the same feeling and frequency of heart and brain coherence. Let's listen to Dr. Joe explain it now.
I've been saying lately, and I've been practicing this in my daily life, we got to get so good at this, doing it with our eyes closed, that we can do it with our eyes open. That's staying conscious and awake in the experience. Now, the brain creates by lack and separation. There's nothing wrong with that. We see something that we want that we don't have, or we dream of some future that we were not in. We do that because we're experiencing the lack of what we really want. And that's evolution. There's nothing wrong with that. And so we do our meditations to remind ourselves of that future and to get so invested in that future that you have to couple the thought of that future with a different feeling, a different frequency, a more elevated or higher frequency. That's what the heart center is. It's a different consciousness. So when we do that properly, as I said earlier, we feel whole. We feel like the experience has already happened. If it feels like it already happened, we're no longer separate from it. We're not looking for it. And we're more present in the moment. We're more awake or more conscious. And then, of course, the initiation is your life. And this is where people that truly arrive at their dreams. On the journey, it was the journey to get to that point. It was the overcoming process. That's so valuable. So staying in the feeling of your future, in your heart, getting really good at sustaining heart coherence. And we have, again, great data that you keep doing it, you get better at it. Not only can you do it for extended periods of time, but if you get really good at it, you'll have spontaneous love attacks. Your heart will go into coherence without any reason at all. In your waking day, we have people that wear monitors for a whole entire hour. Their heart is in beautiful resonance and coherence. That's the conditioning process working for that person. They no longer even want what they thought they wanted, whether it was abundance or whatever. They feel like they already have it. That's the cool part. And the experiment then is really just to see if you can sustain that state for as long as you can and stay aware and remember and not go unconscious and forget, right? So how many times do we have to forget until we stop forgetting and we keep remembering? That's the moment of change. How many times do we have to go unconscious to that thought, to that memory, all of us, that we just no longer want to revisit that memory anymore and feel that feeling because the body's trying to return back to the known? How many times do we catch ourselves as a guardian to stop doing that It's the inhibition process that causes the heart to bloom. It literally causes energy to move there. It moves out of the first 3 centers because you're no longer thinking and feeling that way. It's got to go somewhere. And the Heart Math Institute has great data on this, and so do we. And it moves right into the heart, and boom, here comes the creative center. So then, it's not like you have to think I'm abundant. You feel like you are, and if you feel like you are, when you say I am abundant, you're affirming your state. You're saying it because it's the truth. So you're not saying it to get there. You already feel like you're there. Then the affirmation of the I am is aligning the brain and body into a whole new future. It's a directive in a way. It changes our experience, right? So it's important then, if we lose track of that feeling, sometimes we have to disconnect from our environment for a few minutes and just get in our hearts and just remember the feeling of that future. And it may cause you to start thinking about that future again, and the circumstances or the people or the conditions or the reality you want to live in. You might have to break from your day for a moment and remember that vision of the future, and that vision of the future should produce that feeling. And the stronger the feeling that you have of that future, the more you remember that future, and you're freezing that frame in the simulator that ultimately outpictures in the matrix, in the hologram. And so the person who's able to do that for extended periods of time, we could say then they become it. And so then what's the effect in the experiment? The initiation of overcoming all the conditions that keep us connected to the familiar self. And the overcoming is the becoming process of the person. So then the side effect of that, if we truly are creators then, are opportunities that begin to show up in our life, synchronicities, weird things that just seem to come out of nowhere. That's us waking up that we are creating again. And so all of a sudden, if we do that enough times, as I said, again, the environment, our experience, our perception of the environment changes, our perception of the way we see the world. There are opportunities that weren't there before, and somehow we're not working really hard to get them in any way. We're just changing our energy, and we're changing, and as a result of it, they seem to be coming to us like we're creating them, like they're being drawn to us. And the coherent heart is the magnetic field that draws it to us. The coherent brain is the signal that we send out of the dream, of the reality we want to experience. Get them both working at the same time, and you continuously do that. There should be evidence in our lives. Why else would we do it? And it has to come in ways that we can't predict. It has to come in unexpected ways. The unexpected is the unknown. The predictable, the expected is the known. And so we have to lay down the very thing we used our whole life to get what we want by doing and trying and forcing and controlling for something greater to occur. And we only try and force and control when we're in separation. So the Buddhists call that grasping. In a sense, though, when you're in that feeling, you're no longer separate from it. You're no longer looking for it. It is sustaining that state until we start seeing reflections coming to us. I think that is the experiment. Then all of a sudden, we're getting an upgrade, greater level of consciousness. All of a sudden, we know a little bit more. Somehow we have the advantages, the opportunities, the things that happen to us, prove to us that we are the creators. And then we pay attention. God, wow, the awakening of the unknown is the adventure. And we pay attention to what we did and we say, let's try the experiment again. Let's see if I can do that again. Okay, well, nothing happened for 2 days. Well, who cares? If you're feeling the feeling of it, you stop looking. And I can tell you that I've talked to enough people in this work that have healed from all kinds of chronic health conditions. They all say the same thing. I just got so happy with who I was. I was so satisfied, so grateful for my life and who I was. I really could care less if I had the disease. And that was the moment they no longer identified with it. They were somebody else. So in looking at people, for example, that were in lack and didn't have abundance, the ones that I talked to had very profound transformations about coming up against themselves. And whatever it was from their past that stopped them from being worthy to be abundant, that was what they talk about. That was their moment. Then everything shifted. And I've sat with people that said I didn't have $2 to rub together. And now I'm very wealthy and very successful, and I want to give back and I want to contribute. So it's possible. It's just, again, it's the experiment that we're after, the experiment of actually trying it out on a regular basis and experiencing that feedback.
So the trick to getting all of this to work is to take what we can accomplish during our meditation and then bring that into our daily lives. It's the process of moving that same energy the same feeling that we create during our meditation, into our 3D reality. And when we do that, then we will be so satisfied with life and ourselves that it won't even matter if we have a disease, because we already feel so good and so whole. And the amazing thing is that when you get into that state of feeling really good, that's when you can heal anything anyways. The becoming process starts with the overcoming process. The journey that we all experience is one of awakening to our true selves, our true potential, our true beingness. Dr. Joe said that we magnetically attract what we want through our heart coherence, and that we project out into the universe what we want through our brain coherence. When we get both of them working together, that's when the magic happens. That's the law of attraction in action. That's when things will come to you easily, and whatever you want, you will receive. But as Dr. Joe said, when you do this work properly, that is, when you get the heart and the mind coherently working together, it must be that unexpected things materialize into your reality. That's because you're attracting the unknown now from the quantum field. Or law of attraction teachers would say that you are in alignment with the things that you want, and the universe will surprise and delight you with even more than you ever dreamed of. This is also called the flow state. It's when you start to easily manifest whatever you want and more into your life. So experiment with it, as Dr. Joe says. Get the feedback from the universe and then keep on tweaking and improving how you can get into heart and brain coherence so you too can fully embrace your powerful creator self. You are the creator of your reality. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, and share it with others. And if you feel so inclined, please leave a comment below about how you intend on bringing that same feeling you can create during meditation into your daily life. Thanks for watching, and have a great day or night.